The World Cup is happening right now on US soil. But what's actually going down is an absolute disaster. And it's all because of Donald Trump and his regime. A FIFA world-class referee got deported. Teams are getting cavity searches. Fans are being systematically locked out. And honestly, this might be one of the most embarrassing moments in US sports history. Let me break down exactly what Trump is doing to destroy this tournament before it even really gets going. Let's start with the most jaw-dropping story. Omar Artan, the top referee in all of Africa. FIFA appointed him. He's considered world-class, and he showed up to Miami with proper documentation and proper credentials. And within hours, he was on a plane back to Somalia, because he's Somalia. That's it? Donald Trump doesn't like Somalians, so he kicked him out. Think about what that signals to the entire world. But it gets worse because this isn't just one guy. This is systematic discrimination by the Trump regime. The Iraqi team, their striker held for 7 hours at the airport, their photographer denied entry completely with no explanation given, and Iraq is making its first World Cup appearance in 40 years. This is how Trump treats them. Morocco, 90 fans denied visas. These aren't random people. These are documented travelers who've been to Russia 2018, Qatar 2022, the Paris Olympics. They spent tens of thousands on non-refundable tickets and Trump's regime denied them anyway. We have a full list of countries with visa rejection rates above 40%, including Senegal, Ghana, Congo, Iran, Jordan, Cape Verde, Uzbekistan, Algeria, Haiti, Egypt, and Ecuador, and that's in addition to countries that are fully banned. If you're from Haiti, Iran, Ivory Coast, or Senegal, you're not allowed to show up at all. The Trump regime won't even let you try. And when it comes to the Iranian national team, they have 3 matches in the United States. But Trump won't allow them to stay in the United States, so they're forced to live in Mexico and Tijuana, cross the border for each game, and immediately leave. Their coaches and staff are denied visas. Marco Rubio's people are calling the Iranian team a weapon of mass distraction and nuclear threat, claiming they're being sent here as stealth nuclear weapons, which is absolutely insane. The Iranian embassy in Turkey called out the U.S. directly, saying, "You can't whitewash conduct that violates FIFA regulations and breaches host obligations." Now here's the contrast that should really anger you. Take a look at what's happening across the border in Mexico. South Korean fans enjoying Mexican culture. Teams being greeted with mariachi bands, heroes' welcomes, celebrations that show respect and warmth. That's what you do when you host the World Cup. And then there's what Trump is doing in the United States. The Senegalese delegation arrives, and they get full tarmac searches, cavity searches, shoes off, bags inside, treated like criminals. The Uzbek team shows up expecting a warm welcome, and instead they get security searching all their bags, body searches, isolation, cross-examination, governments looking through their phones and their habits. These are World Cup teams and fans showing up here and they're being treated like criminals. The Trump regime has basically banned major groups of foreign reporters, and when foreign reporters are allowed in, they get visas that don't let them travel to Canada or Mexico and then come back to the United States, which is impossible because the games are in Canada, Mexico, and the United States. And now we're learning that ICE and Border Patrol will be ramping up their efforts and attacks outside these stadiums during the World Cup. The Trump regime is implementing even more vile tactics when people are arriving from foreign countries. But here's what's really powerful. New York City Mayor Eric Adams and Governor Hochul are both speaking out against this. Mayor Adams hosted a free World Cup watch party for 50,000 New Yorkers and posted this statement: "Soccer would not exist without immigrants. Immigrants play and coach the game, work in the stadiums, fill the stands, and make celebrations like the World Cup possible. 6 of the players on the U.S. men's national team are immigrants. We will not allow ICE or anyone else to sow fear in our communities, especially at this moment. As the world comes to our city, we will stand proudly with our immigrant neighbors and reject these attacks for what they are, an attempt to divide us. That's leadership. That's what a real host should look like. Instead, Trump is destroying this tournament. He's a destroyer. That's what he does." And by the way, just so you know what's really happening here, Marco Rubio on Thursday is executing a State Department order with the UFC and Dana White, declaring UFC a major tool of U.S. diplomacy, while the UFC is heading to a major court hearing where DK groups want the White House UFC fight canceled for ethical and legal violations. The grift could not be griftier. This is what the Trump regime is doing to the World Cup. They're turning what should be a celebration of global sports into a nightmare of discrimination, visa denials, and border enforcement. And last night, when Trump showed up at Madison Square Garden, the crowd booed him. That's what America really thinks about this disaster.